Then we're going to go here. Public. Then we're going here. Awesome. Then we're going to go to Facebook. Streaming now. YouTube.com/Michael. Great. And then we're gonna go here, and we're gonna go here, copy, put it here, share. All right. Hello, everybody. I look terrible, and I don't know why. I guess because it's an accurate representation of me. I want to talk all about this social media stuff once people get here, because this shit's no joke, and it's a very big deal. And we'll see what happens as a consequence of it. And I've got some more updates about the book and so on and so forth. This shouldn't be here. Is this better? Is this worse? I don't know. Why is this boom mic taking up so much of the screen? I don't know. Okay, it jumped to 34 people. Hope everyone's having a good week. I'm not reading another. Maybe I'll read it. I don't think I'll read another chapter. We'll get to that a little bit later. Yeah. I don't know if you just got. I don't know if you guys just saw. Maggie Haberman from the New York Times, who's real wonderful person. She was just basically saying Paul Joseph Watson traffics in 9/11 conspiracy theories. And it's kind of like, I talk about this. I'm so glad, like, all these shit that's blowing up right now, it's all in the book. I talk about conspiracy theories in there and how it's used, just like the term racist. It's just used as a great way to dismiss speech you don't like. And it's a very effective way because, you think conspiracy, you think the person's a lunatic. And often they are. I mean, there's no question about this. But Kevin Spacey was a conspiracy. Bill Cosby was a conspiracy. And so on and so forth. And especially when you're dealing with something... The way I came around to this way of thought, and this is in the book, so I guess I'm kind of reading from it in a way. I had one friend who said, oh, your other friend, David, is a 9/11 truther. I'm like, oh wow, I don't really know any 9/11 truthers. That's pretty nuts. And I ask him, I go, hey, are you a 9/11 truther? What's your perspective here? And he goes, yeah, my view is there's more to this story than we're being told. And that's literally undeniably true. The 9/11 report has pages redacted. There's some more to the story than we're being told. It could be for great reason. It could be, we don't want to burn sources. We don't want to alienate allies. I mean, there's a million reasons why it's perfectly legitimate that they didn't put it in there. The point is, the idea that we know everything is false. It's a lie. And to act like, well, conspiracy, it's like, it's not a conspiracy. This is public information. What are you talking about? So... And it's just amazing that the New York Times, you guys, I retweeted that thread today, who ran interference for Stalin as he was starving millions of people to death. They're like, oh, you're not going to believe in conspiracy theories, are you? You were the fucking conspiracy. Keith needs to get Loomer and Gavin on Compound. Gavin has been on Compound, as I'm sure you probably know. I actually texted, Um, Laura. So let's talk about Laura Loomer in a minute. So yesterday I was guest hosting Breitbart Tonight with Rebecca Mansour, who I liked. Who I liked. I like a lot, and I've been on the show with her many times. And I was very sad. You are welcome, Joe. Thank you. I was very sad because they didn't get to do my intro, which was, I was going to say, oh, because Joel Pollack is usually her guest host. Joel was away because he was in, I think, Germany for like Holocaust Remembrance Day. So I was going to say, and she knows who I am. Rebecca knows I'm a troll, so on and so forth. I said, look, I'm a little bit nervous. And I was expecting her to say, don't be nervous. And I go, oh, no. I'm not nervous for me. I'm nervous for you because you guys have put a troll in the mic for 3 hours with no recourse. And it's going to be like when the vampire's in the house that you invited in and you're wondering how to get the bloodstains out of the carpet. But I didn't get through that intro, and it actually was very well. Scott Walker was one of the people we talked to, and it was fun interviewing him. The bannings are censorship and wrong, but I'm not holding my breath for the reason/Cato bowtie types to call it what it is. They'll defend, I bet. Okay, let's talk about this. It's not censorship, number one. Is Illuminatus a new book? It is. It's not in the new book. People have to also take into consideration that it is perfectly plausible that, let's take the politics out of it. It is certainly plausible that for a given business, keeping out certain people is going to be good for that business. The idea that everyone has to be welcome everywhere is something I do not agree with on any level. To me, freedom of association is probably more important than freedom of speech, because if you, it's when you have freedom of association, you basically have freedom of speech. Because if I can talk to who I want to talk to, then I'll talk to who I want to talk to. The idea that, and I asked this question with Will Chamberlain. I asked it from Rebecca yesterday. I said, forget Laura Loomer and Milo and all these people. Asked Vox Day about your welcome. He says he's happy to have a convo with you. Try emailing him again. He says he knew who you were once I said you went to Bucknell. Okay. The book's done at this point, Julian, but thank you. And he's going to like it, I think, because I quote from him pretty extensively in it, and not in a derogatory way. He came up with the concept of midwits. Do you think Gavin will be able to use the Facebook statements against them? Maybe you can check in with Ron Coleman. I doubt Ron Coleman's going to show his hands, per se. Here's something I found very interesting. A lot of times, like when you're falling asleep, like I sleep with my phone next to me, right? And I'll wake up in the middle of the night, maybe have to pee or something, and I'll look on the phone, and then when I wake up for real, I'll be like, oh shit, I did this last night, I have no memory of it. I went to the SPLC site to see I'm sure the Blaze isn't regretting firing Gavin right about now. You might be right, I can't speak for them. What do you think of Quillette's characterization of the intellectual dark web as the new reactionary right? I think it's, I would not call Dave Rubin, Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, I don't know who else they'd call in there as any of those as reactionaries. I can't, that label has no meaning unless you're a communist in this context. All of them are very pro thriving culture. None of them are in any sense maybe Jordan Peterson's conservative in the bourgeois sense of like, get your shit together, but none of them are conservatives in the sense of hating innovation and cultural innovation. So, I completely lost my, I don't even, who's the new reactionary right anyway? I don't even know who the old reactionary right would be in this context. If they're saying that these are like the new Pat Buchanans, I don't see how that ports at all. Anyway, so I was saying, let's suppose if you're going to, I forget Laura Loomer. What do you do about people on Twitter who send female reporters. I don't even need evil reporters. Just some girl who writes for, some makeup blog. Dick pics. Are you going to say they have to be able to stay on the site? And I mean, well, if your argument is everyone has to be allowed on the site, then it goes, okay, fine. Maybe it's not people who harass, but it's people who blah, 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 blah. Well, there have to be a criterion for a business to be able to run their business how they want. Now, the argument is, I do not think at all that Facebook and Twitter are good actors. I do not think at all that they are don't have an agenda, that they are just like you and me, that they are... I agree in many ways with the old leftist analysis that the big corporations have to be assumed to be nefarious. That is my approach. Now, the question is, what if you have regulation? What regulation, in my view, inevitably does is it locks in the current big corporations as the ones who are going to be running the show. So, if you look at the Ayn Rand interview with Donahue from 1979, they're freaking out about Xerox and ITT. In 1996, I don't remember, it wasn't 96, I'm sorry. Bob Dole was hired by, I think it was Netscape. I don't remember who. And he had this big campaign because Microsoft, who's going to take over the world because Apple's going bankrupt, Microsoft was giving away for free Internet Explorer. So if Internet Explorer comes with your computer, then everyone is going to use Internet Explorer, and then Internet Explorer is going to control our access to the web, and all sorts of bad things are going to happen. This was the concern at the time. The articles are still on the internet, as is his website, I believe, from the 96 campaign. So that is not what actually ended up happening. I don't think anyone I know uses Internet Explorer. I don't think Internet Explorer is even around, so to speak. Sears was around before Amazon. I remember, I'm old. I remember Yahoo. You can't compete with Yahoo. Yahoo is the place to go to look for websites because they have them all filed by category. So the idea, I'm shocked when people say that they can't even imagine like a world without Twitter. It has not been. Part of the reason Twitter is because of Trump. It has not been this thing forever. So it's just, and the idea to me also that the regulators are going to be less nefarious than Jack or Mark Zuckerberg, that Lois Lerner is going to be more pro-conservative, more pro-free speech than people like Jack and Mark Zuckerberg who go on Rogan and have to get called to their face by Tim Pool. I don't see it. Chip, I agree. The parallel between corporatism and socialism, right? The biggest problem, and this is the economic... I hate how Edison and Bell, right, were in utilities until they were. The word fascism obviously has a very loaded connotation, but I'm using the word strictly in an economic sense, not in a moral sense. Fascism is big business and big government working together. And to codify that is just horrible for everyone. So, now the question is, what are you going to do? The other question people have is, what if, let's ask this one. What if banning certain types of people is good for their company? Do they not have a right to do that then? And why not? Now, the fact that when I was on Gavin's show a couple of years ago, now it's really easy for me to say this It's funny reading pre-1991 leftists and seeing bourgeois and reactionary used the same way as racist is now. Oh, yeah, for sure. Great observation, Julian. Thank you. It's easy for me to say this because I'm not the one getting banned, right? So it's like, you're sitting here, you're not Laura Loomer, you're not Gavin, you're not having... Oh, this is what I was talking about. So as I was falling asleep, I went to the SPLC's website and I looked at their list of people who are like the devil. They've got a list, like a long list of like, these are the bad actors. And a lot of them are like really indisputably, bad people. And there's Cernovich in there among them. There's David Horowitz among them. And I looked, Gavin's not there. His name's no longer on that list. I thought that was very, very interesting. I don't know where things go from here. But for technology, in my view, you would not be able to hear anything I had to say. Not from a function of banning, but a function of it's only technology that's allowing me to talk to you guys right now. Right? So if I'm playing roulette, all my money is it's technology that's going to be what stops this. It's not going to be the government forcing Laura Loomer to go on Twitter, because you know what happens next? Then it's like, all right, all the social justice warriors will be like, Twitter has Laura Loomer on it and all these Nazis. We're going to leave Twitter and we're going to go over here. What Reason left out was Microsoft wanted to control the web server market too. Then they could alter the HTTP standard on their own. Okay, I'm not familiar with what you're referring to there, Paul, but thank you for that information. Anyway, so one of the things yesterday when I was on Breitbart is Laura read a statement. Let me read here the statement in case any of you haven't seen it, because I found it disturbing in the extreme. Let me read. I feel like I'm doing Nightshade. Shoot, where is it? I don't even know where she posted it. Was it on her site? Here's lauraloomer.us. Let me look. If you Google her site's like the 7th result. You're right. Crypto and tech is the solution. And here's the other thing. Even if they didn't ban Laura and Gavin, it's still a good thing to have alternatives to Twitter. Hold on. Let me find it. I think this is it. I can't find it. Hold on. She was talking about, there was something where she's talking about like killing herself, and I found it very, very disturbing for her to throw that out there. So I texted her, and I haven't heard back. And I think when people throw that kind of stuff out there, you really have to take it very, very seriously, because the cost of intervening is pretty low. I mean, could be very, very high. Or sorry, you know what I mean. Like, it doesn't take much to intervene, and if you don't, the cost could be astronomical and irrevocable. So, yeah. Anyway, so that is what's going on there. The book comes out in 11 days. I talk a lot about this stuff in the book. I'm going to say one thing. This also shows that Facebook is listening, because one of the big arguments from Laura, when Laura was chained to Twitter, handcuffed to Twitter, I was there, and she had the big sign, and she's like, I'm being banned, Farrakhan is there, this is ridiculous. And they listened, and they banned Farrakhan as well. So they're clearly listening to some extent, and that is progress. And it's called comfort. But there's going to be a certain point, in my view, where it's going to be like, look, are you going to ban everybody? So I don't know where this goes from here. I don't know where this goes from here, but I mean, it's a very kind of disturbing. By the way, we're working on a video for the day that the book comes out. You guys are gonna lose your fucking minds. Absolutely lose your fucking minds. Oh, this monster's good. And oh, by the way, for this wet shaving rabbit hole I'm down, I've got like 80 cents to go through. So it's gonna be like 80 days, and then I'll be done. What else did I want to talk about? Whew. What else did I want to talk about? I gotta get my plane tickets. I'm gonna be on Bridget Fettis's show. That's confirmed. And also, who else that morning? Hold on a second. Oh, and back on Jason Stapleton that morning as well. So, in addition to Rubin and Rogan and Glenn Beck, I think Federalist is going to do something with the book. Who else? I sent it to Jack. Thank you, Megan. Cheers to you. Who else did I book already? I don't know. So, well, 400 people here. What did we talk about last time that everyone got all... Oh, I want to talk to you guys about what did you all... First of all, I want to thank you. I want to thank you all. Faith Goldie was your suggestion. So we'll get to your reaction in a second. I was very concerned with having her on because I thought that the comment sections would be just horrible on YouTube. I was shocked in a very pleasant way that there were only like one or two anti-Semitic comments, which was fine. The vast majority of them, I don't think there were any, like even the people who I would consider, objectively racist or alt-right, they were coherent and weren't being provocative and obnoxious, like on Twitter sometimes people can tend to be. So I thought, and honestly, the Nazis, and I'm using the term loosely, but only somewhat loosely, they all came for her. I didn't realize how much they hated her. They really, and they weren't even hating on her in personal ways per se, but as well like, she's lying, I don't like her, here's why, blah, blah, blah. Am I mistaken, or did you say on Nightshade that these recent Facebook bannings had something to do with them being specifically connected to Gavin? No, you are correct. One of the reasonings Facebook said is they said this person is associated with Gavin, who has been designated a hate figure. So Gavin somehow is the big bad villain in all this, which, in terms of all these people, to me is mind-boggling. So I was really, Faith is really tall in person. It's also, she had these like 6-inch like drag queen heels on, but it was a lot of fun. I'm very curious what you guys thought of that interview. Here's my perspective when I do interviews and how I would like to be interviewed. I'm very big on letting people speak for themselves. This kind of gotcha stuff, even if you do it for... See, the thing is, if you do gotcha for one person, that next person's not going to want to come on. And since most people know that I'm really quick and I could be really vicious, I don't want people to be scared to come on my show. I want to be able to answer tough questions, but I'm not there to humiliate someone because I'm not Howard Stern. Push the envelope, have Paul Joseph Watson on. I would do it in a second. He doesn't reply to me or anything. Yeah, I want to make sure people feel comfortable. Like Howard Stern, back in the day when he was Howard Stern, he would ask really very personal questions. He'd fuck with people, and they'd have to grin and bear it because his audience is huge. I don't have that power. Thank you, Christopher. So I'll push to a point, but I have people from the far left all the way to her, and I just wanted to be like, all right, come in here. Don't I can't have people being scared to come in and sit in the gas chamber. Does anyone? I want to hear what you guys thought about the Faith interview. Were you surprised it was her? That's the other question I have. I'm gonna correct myself a little bit. The people I do go very hard with are people who are friends of mine. So like Will Chamberlain, Alan Bakari, Tom Woods. I'll really go hard with them because I know there's no possibility they're going to be pissed afterwards or feel ambushed. Massive bannings in Europe, all coordinated. Yeah, Europe is much worse than the U.S. Much worse. I thought she carried herself much better than I expected. Thoughts on North Korea recent missile test 30 minutes ago? I don't have any thoughts on it yet. I'll definitely do something at length, either on Nightshade or another live stream. This is a very complicated issue, and I'm in a complicated position because of Junior following me on Twitter. But obviously, it's a very big deal. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that. Oh, police, act cool, be cool, be cool, be cool. Man, we have 450 people here. Junior doesn't follow Compound Media. Who do you think will be the next to get the boot? I'm shocked that it's not Molyneux. Let me see something quick. Happy Friday, Mr. Malice. Let's hear a joke. I've got oh, you want to hear a joke from my book? Because I got a chapter about dark humor. What do you think? What do you think about De Blasio getting in? I said this earlier. I go, This is America's only chance to take down a giant communist because we don't have Lenin statues here. I'm here because of Molyneux. Okay. Why is Kumia scared to bring McGingus back? I don't know that I would say that at all. Thank you, Christopher, by the way. I don't know that they've... I have no information about Anthony talking to Gavin. Ooh. And I want to thank, by the way, Dr. Steve for sending me all those pickles. He sent me another jar of pickled shallots because one jar isn't enough, apparently. Kumia did say he'd have Gavin back in a second. He said it on my show. He said it on You're Welcome when he was on. But here's the other thing that I think people need to understand from a broader context. Let's take the politics out of this. corporate America. Think this. Oh my God! Hold on, I gotta tweet this out. I just had a great epiphany. This is a good one. I'll read it to you in a second. Hold on, I need to look up at the source. I'm gonna read it to you the tweet. Okay, you ready? This is a good one. The same people who screeched that their foes want to take us back to the 1950s are doing everything in their power to make political discourse as homogenized, and I want to say like and inoffensive as possible, but that's not the word I want. I almost never use a thesaurus, but this is one that I'm going to use from anodyne. Anodyne. I want the word anodyne. And hold on. Anodyne. Done. So that is done. Honestly, is Keith the cop the problem, or I don't know what you mean by the question. I'm not trying to play dumb, but problem regarding what? So here's my point. Forget the politics out of this. Corporate America always wants things as no ruffling feathers, nice, saccharine as possible. So big social media companies will always be worried about not like anyone who's a disruptor. This is essentially a problem with corporate culture. And so there's no, I don't know what the workaround is other than undermining big companies and having their roles as gatekeepers. Is there anyone you could think of you'd find so morally repulsive you wouldn't interview them on your welcome? Well, it's tough, right? Like I would have interviewed Charles Manson, and no one would begrudge that, of course. Yeah, I think it would be a combination of being morally repulsive and also not interesting, right? So if someone is this like kind of like smirking, like dumb bigot, it's just like you're horrible across the board. Like I interviewed Cantwell for my book. We had a good conversation. It was very respectful. He wasn't, acting loudmouth. We had a good discussion. The first question I had is, look, do you want me dead? And he's like, no. He gave me a fair answer. There was no. The problem with interviewing people is I wouldn't want to interview someone who's there to just goad me. No pun intended. I would have Jim on in a second, because it's like, what? This isn't an interview. This is your chance to posture. Why don't live streams stay on your channel? They do. They're there for the Patreons. So if you're a Patreon, you could see all the past live streams. That's the perk of being a patron. Just what do you think you were trying to accomplish in making people learn new words? Yatu sabe. Thank you, Joseph. Would you interview Weave? I don't think Weave would be big on discourse. I don't know him that well. I feel like it would be very confrontational. Milo got banned 3 minutes from signing up for Coinbase. Wow. And I'm gonna bring up here's something else I'm gonna bring up. Okay? And I've told this before. And I really think this is the correct way to look at it. Here's another example. Here's another example. Let's suppose that let's suppose that it wasn't about banning conservatives, but somehow just Twitter sucked. Like it was just like like the Big Bang Theory. It just sucks, right? Big Bang Theory is not a function of they don't have conservatives on or they don't have Milo. It's just it sucks. The answer when something sucks is alternatives, and the answer is always like you don't want to have any one organization have too much power. Would you interview Nicholas Fuentes? I met him at uh, um, when I was in DC. Friendly guy. I feel like when you're here's the thing. Like as I've said many times, um, I don't got beef with Nick, and I don't think Nick has beef with me, to be honest, at all. Um, I'm on a network, and I have a responsibility to that network and to the advertisers. So that is something I am painfully aware of, and it's something that I don't think anyone finds particularly unobjectionable either. Finds objectionable either. You should ask Kennedy if you could get Kurt Loder. I guess. Anyway, the point is this: there's a book, and I always go back to this book, and it's just really amazing because when I read it in college, I didn't think it was a big deal, and it stuck with me so much. It's called The Goal, right? The question of and I've told this story before. It's really, really important today because some of you probably haven't heard it. The question of the book is, what is the goal of a business? Why do people start a business? Do they do it to clean up their neighborhoods? Do they do it to, um, build a building? No. The goal of a business is to make money. That's the premise of the book. So how do people make money? You have from conception to production and distribution of a product, right? And there's many steps along the way. So what you want to do is figure out which step along the way is least useful in terms of maximizing your money making. And that's what they call the bottleneck. Do you have not enough shipping boxes? Do you have not enough customers? So you have a lot of production room, but you don't have the demand. Okay, that could be a bottleneck. Or you have too many customers, you don't have enough, whatever soap you're making, you got to make more soap. Figure out what the bottleneck is. Once you fix that bottleneck, since it's a relative term, whichever is the worst element in your chain, something else by definition becomes the bottleneck. Then you fix that. Then you fix that. The point is, eventually, it's a process. It never becomes utopia, right? So this is the same thing with social media and all this stuff. Because let's suppose tomorrow, Twitter unbans everyone, Facebook unbans everyone. What's going to happen is PayPal is going to start banning more people. Hosting sites are going to start banning more people. Banks are going to start banning more people. And you guys know that that's next. So the point is, we already know what the steps are that they're going to take, and you have to create workarounds around them other than expecting Washington to fix it. And the only workarounds that are asymmetric and irrevocable and is technology that I've seen. So that to me is the way that this has to be solved. And you know what? This is already the issue because even if PayPal is already banning people today. Banks are kicking people out of their banks, closing their accounts today. These are things that have to happen today. So I think this Twitter stuff is a red herring in many ways because those are much bigger concerns. And that's stuff that no one's talking about and hasn't started to address. All right. Let me look at something quick. Okay, so Who was your favorite character on Veep? It might be Selena. You're an anarchist, but putting that aside, is there anything you agreed with Faith Goldie and her politics? What did I agree with Faith on? God, I guess the having a safety net is something that I don't find particularly to be a huge problem. So in that sense, I guess I would vaguely agree with her. Um, I don't know what else. I love Toronto, so next Rogan appearance in a couple weeks. Would these bannings happen if Hillary won? Does anyone doubt if Hillary won, there'd be much more bannings? Of course there would be. They would be mandatory bannings. Twitter would have to. They would pass laws, or there'd be a movement in the press that you have to start banning more people. Look what happened with Donald Trump. We had this lunatic was nominated. We have to make sure that never happens again. That would be the story. I was banned from Facebook for sending a cow butchering video to a friend. It sounds weird but innocent. I that's gross. Luke, thank you very much. Oof. I had a chest cold all week. It's finally cleared up, thank God. I can read from. I can read from. Should I read for one more? This is probably going to be the last live stream from the. Is this the last live stream before the book's out? Let me check. No, it's not. Okay. Did I miss someone? I want to hear other suggest. I am booked. We've got some big names coming up on the show. We got some really good names. And after Rogan, it's going to even be amped up another bit. I want to thank you guys so much because since June, when the show relaunched on Gas, it's doubled its audience, and that's a big deal. So it's really, really appreciated. Are tech giants actually deciding who has a voice, or are advertisers deciding further upstream? I think what they're doing is there was that report from that organization, I forget what it was, that they are. It becomes an echo chamber internally, and I think when you have things like the SPLC, then they have clean hands. And I could be like, we're not making this decision. This objective outside organization, we're going by what they suggest. So that's very useful for everybody. I mean, for those two sides, because they'd be like, oh, no, no, no. We're good actors. We're being responsible corporate citizens. Data Society, correct. Thank you. Ooh. Oh, next week, what I am um, taping. So May 14th is the book release date. I'm going to be interviewing myself. It's not going to be a monologue. It's going to be me interviewing myself. We're going to pull it off. It's going to be really, really awesome. Here, you could just do this. 1 second. Um, yeah, you know who the Ayn Rand the Ayn Rand. Are you going to go to the Dave Smith Sarwark debate? I'm not. Um, the Ayn Rand Institute started following me on Instagram, which was pretty hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna have to block this people because they keep tagging me. All right. Whew. It's been 45 minutes of this already. Okay, so I'll read up another page from the book. Um what was I gonna say? Before we get to that, does anyone have any other suggestions um about future guests? I would be interested in hearing them. Is it possible to win against leftists without bannings? Yeah, Trump won. You would still need to morally shun their bad ideas and ostracize like they do, yes? Leftism is not a monolith. There's lots of aspects of leftism which are good. Leftists are a problem. But that's a whole other subject. Larry Elder, Alex Epstein. I don't know who Destiny is. Tim Pool's been on already. Would love to see Pete Raymond on Your Welcome. Okay. Razor Fist. I tried with Razor Fist. He didn't reply, so tweeted him. Sticks won't go to New York. Destiny, is that how it's pronounced? I'm not a libertarian. I'm an anarchist. I'm not converting anyone. Tulsi Gabbard with 1,000 likes. People tweeted her. She didn't reply. Ann Applebaum. I would love that in a second. Alex Epstein. How about Adam Curry from the No Agenda Show? I've tweeted him. We follow each other. I DM'd him. No response. Molebug won't do it. Who's this? Maria Mercado was supposed to be on. She's not in New York right now. Do you know if Eric July? Do you know of Eric July? Yeah, of course I know Eric July. Yeah, I met him at Tom Wood's 1,000th episode. Andy Go. I emailed him. No response. Twice now. What's an NA? Or I don't know what that is. The distributist won't even appear on camera? For fuck's sake, this Carlos. God damn it! I got a buddy Carlos in the group who wants me to interview distributist, but it's not going to be on camera. What about Anna and Dasha from Red Scare Podcast? I would love to. But I don't. I emailed one or tweeted one of them. They didn't reply. Glenn Greenwald. I don't know what yes he will means in this context. I've tweeted Glenn also. No reply. What's not true? When people say that's not true, I don't know what they're referencing to. Junior does follow Compound Media on Twitter. Check. I believe you. Oh, distributist. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you. Norm Macdonald, Genesis Bright. Oh yeah, that'd be so good. Robert Crumb, Notch. Yeah. Cernovich, I've already interviewed. Comfortably Smug. Scott Adams, I've interviewed already. The distributist was on Blogging Head showing face. Okay. We're gonna have someone on in a month talking Chesterton. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Would you say yes to becoming King of America if everyone agreed to crown you the leader of a monarchy to replace the current federal government? Sure. Carpe Donktum's in the Midwest. Something's going on with my Heshy socks. I don't know what's going on. I'm wearing Heshy socks right now. Unauthorized.tv. Do you hate Rucka or would you go again? I love Rucka. I think Rucka's great. I don't hate Rucka at all. That's the reason I was so argumentative with him, is because we're pals. I interviewed Hop already. You people, come on, get with the program. Okay, so what else did I want to talk about? Okay, what page? I'll read one more page from the book. If anyone has any numbers you want to throw out. Okay, I saw 58. Let's do 58. My skin looks like shit. Jacob Wall. Oh my god, that'd be so funny. I've interviewed Jacob on Nightshade. All right, let's do it. It's funny because all these people are getting copies of my book. I still don't have one. Jacob comes off much, much better in person. Thank you, Colby. Check Twitter. Okay, I'm checking Twitter. Hold on, my computer's being slow. What am I checking? I don't know what I'm checking. Okay, check Twitter. I don't even know who Kyle Kashev is. Is he the right-wing gun guy? Anyway, okay, we're gonna be page 58. Thanks, Chip. L'chaim. Okay, yeah. Yeah, he blocked me because he misunderstood a joke I made. He thought I was making fun of him, I guess. All right, page 58. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good page. It's got some heft to it. All right. Oh, by the way, before I get talking about this, I almost I was choking today, and I haven't choked since like second grade. And I was trying to swallow a piece of beef at lunch, and it was too big, and it was stuck. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm choking. And I went over to this other table at the buffet place I had lunch at, and I go to them, I'm choking, and they just sat there, stared at and they were all like 50s and 60s, three people, and they just looked at me, just looked, and I go, I'm choking, and they just, and finally I coughed it up into my table, and I was like, I'm still angry that they just looked at me. I go, I'm choking. And I'm coughing, and I'm like, I'm choking. And just, there were no minds there. It was fucking amazing. And I was like, holy shit. We talk about NPCs. Like, I mean, this idea, I do, this is another reason I don't agree with conservatives. This idea that every person is magical and special and unique. There was no mind. It was just nothing there. Whew. I actually did like a self-Heimlich kind of thing. Oh my god. It's very disturbing. And I was all shook up for like a very long amount of time afterwards too. Dear God. Oh my god. The more I think about it, the more angry I get. Just awful stuff. Oh god, look at this. Bystander effect, yeah. All my live streams are on Patreon. Jesus Christ, it was so weird. And then they're later, after I calmed down, they're like, oh, make sure you chew your food. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah, thank you. Oh, it was so disturbing. God damn. I hate them. I hope something bad happens to them. Now that I think about it. All right. Oh yeah, Kyle's blocked me. He looks exactly like a good buddy of mine, by the way. It's really kind of disturbing. Loved your interview with Faith Goldie. If only we can get Woods to talk some free market sense into her. I don't think that's. I think there's a lot more going on there than just economics. I wouldn't have even cared if they had laughed or been like, we don't care or stop bothering us. When you look into someone who's ostensibly human and you look in their eyes and you know that there's no mind there, it's a very jarring thing. And I'm reminded of my buddy LB. And I think about this story fairly often because it's so disquieting. He was working in a movie theater. He was a kid, a young man, whatever. And he went to lunch. And, I like to see things from other people's point of view. That's the subject of the new right. That's the subject of Dear Reader. It's other points of view than my own made coherent and spelled out. And he was working in a movie theater. He came back, and his boss's name, Mr. McCutnick, whatever it was. And he was like a little bit late from lunch. And he goes, oh my God, Mr. McCutnick, I just got into a car accident, And he was all shook up. And the guy goes, look, you can't be taking these long lunches. We need you back here, blah, 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 blah. He goes, no, Mr. Cutnick, like, we got hit, like, this other car, like, blah, 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 and he's just, like, explaining, he goes, look, and he's just, I get it, but, like, blah, 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 blah. And to this day, I think about it, because I'm like, I have no idea what is going on inside that person's head, but it's not a mind. Like, and I wish I could understand what that so-called thought process is, where there's, I don't get it. Like, I can't relate to it. And it's like, they knew God was calling you to heaven and didn't want to keep you from going. That's not where I'm going, baby. Glad you didn't choke to death. Thank you. It's appreciated. And it's like, I mean, if you want to get all philosophical, is this a human being? If there's someone who's just not capable, if there's no mind there, on a very fundamental level. And I also don't understand, like, one of the things, like, people who play their music in public, and if you confront them, they're like, well, just don't listen. That's not how hearing works. You can close your eyes, you can't close your ears. You can't just tune it out. So I don't understand what it is when someone is talking to you one-on-one, and they're saying something in an animated fashion, and you literally, where is your brain? And they're talking car accident. These are not, they're not mumbling. These are not innocuous words. It's like, what the fuck? You say you ain't atheist. Are you religious Jew? Yes. I'm on a live stream on Shabbos because I'm a religious Jew. Oh, God. It's like, it scares me. Because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of those people. And I'm so blessed that I have the career I have that I don't have to interact with them. So when I do, it's just like, it's like, holy shit, no wonder people support me on Patreon. It's like, this is their life. They have to deal with these types, or that's their boss. I'm very, very blessed. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right, it's been an hour. Does anyone else? Uh, I don't understand how you can't hear someone. Like, what is it just like meow 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 meow? It's also a weird feeling when I was choking, and you're like, I know I'm choking, and I'm like, what do I do? Like, my life is currently in danger. Like, I wasn't being a drama queen. I'm like, okay, if the situation I'm currently in does not change, I'm going to die. That was the fact. That was an undisputable fact. And I'm like, all right, I'm in a life. So you're pseudo-theist, deist, or some shit. Sure. Um, It was so uh just weird. And the thing is, I tried to drink to try to choke it down, and thankfully, when I choked, like all that came up a little bit too. So, which was a little bit gross, but it sure felt good. Have any of you ever? The thing is, it wasn't deer in the headlights. It was cow in a pasture. I'm talking to them, and they're looking at me. They weren't stunned. They were like, it was very jarring. I choked in an ice cube age 7. Mom made the same look. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. And here's the other thing. Like, let's suppose they couldn't understand what I was saying, which is very possible. If there's a crazy person who's at your table, like making these shapes and noises, you recoil. You're like, whoa, what's, you look at each other. You're like, what's, that wasn't it either. There was no reaction that corresponded to the input. God. And you know the funniest part is after I spit it up and like into my food and threw it out, like I was like, fuck, what does this mean for my macros? It was so fucked. Maybe they were drugged up with pharmapsychotropics. Yeah, but they didn't freeze. Is the point? It wasn't like, oh shit. It was total. They could have been looking in any direction. Oh, okay. Someone's here. I missed the super chat. Which one? No, I didn't. Whew. God. God, it was so fucked up. Um, and here's the other thing. Like after I spit it up and I tell them, "Oh, I was choking," you would think they'd be like, "Oh my god!" Like this guy, almost, you know. And it was like, "Oh, oh, okay. Well, chew next time." Yeah, that is the problem. You know, yeah. So, oh god. What else can we talk about? Okay, I'm gonna read a page from the book. You want me to read a page from the book? Yeah, we talked about North Korea launching missiles. I talked about that at the beginning of the um, hour. Um, we're going to read page 58. Yep. For many right wingers, there also came a realization that Andrew Breitbart was correct. Politics is downstream from culture, and electing the correct people was the consequence of the right strategies and not the goal. One of the great techniques used by the evangelical left is its claim that all decent, sane people are basically progressives at heart. It was only within such a context of presumed unanimity that Starbucks could launch a 2015 campaign encouraging their employees to discuss matters of race with their customers. The new right is not only opposed to civil discourse, it's opposed to pretty much any discourse with those it considers the enemy. It's a working strategy. Peter Thiel secretly funded a legal battle between Hulk Hogan, a man he didn't even know, and the gossip website Gawker, one of the mainstays of sneering media progressivism. The result was the personal bankruptcy of Gawker's owner and editor and the destruction of the site, a major new right victory. By 2015, it was Donald Trump who had once again melded the combative Rothbardian style to Buchananite ideology. Trump did not simply defeat Jeb Bush, he humiliated him and his family on a personal level. Ditto Ted, your father shot JFK Cruz, and Marco, Google, gay rumors Rubio. Many in the thinking class assume Trump doesn't know what he's doing, believing in what Dilbert creator Scott Adams calls the lucky Hitler hypothesis. The facts imply something quite different. Few Americans understand what the Federal Reserve is or what it does, and it hardly seems like Donald Trump should be among them. Yet Ron Paul had pushed for a Federal Reserve audit every year until he left Congress in 2015, including writing a best-selling book in 2009 book entitled End the Fed. It's telling that Trump had promised to audit the Fed via executive order. So that is page 58. The Google gay rumors came from Diamond and Silk. Oh, you guys want to see the map pants that Greg paid for? I have them here. I'm going to show them to you. I'll be back in 30 seconds. And I'll also show you two bugs. All right, I'm back. Okay. Do you want to see the bugs or the pants first? The bugs? Okay, I got two. So, giraffe weevils, I showed you one that I got before. This is another kind that's not really related, but it has a very long neck, right? Giraffe weevil. I think this one's from New Zealand. You ready? These two bugs came together. I'm going to show you the picture of what it looks like on the internet, and then I'll show you what it looks like in real life, and you'll see what a fucking disappointment it is. So this is it. So here's the picture. Now that's what it looks like online. Click on that link. Doesn't that look cool? Right? It looks pretty cool. Like, oh wow, this is a cool bug. Ready? And now, here's what it looks like. Isn't this amazing? This bullshit. Yep. All right. However, I got something else, and that really does look like the picture. Who here knows what a damson fly is? Do you guys know what the damson fly is? This is probably the most disturbing bug I've seen. I'm gonna show you a link to these damson flies. They're horrible. They're horrible. Or Dobson fly, rather. I think it's called Dobson. Yeah. So take a look at this Dobson fly. Okay. See that? Click that link. I'll show you the back of the envelope. Is it forbidden? Oh, okay. Hold on. I'll get you a better link. I can see it on this browser. That's interesting. Here we go. Here's the link to the actual... here we go. Click on that. Okay, you ready? Here is it from the back. I haven't opened this package yet. Here is it from the front. I'm gonna pull back some of this paper so we can see this monster. It's a... The thing is, there's videos of them, and they have no bite strength, actually. So they can't even pinch. It's like just like feathers. I'm taking out the staples. It's like after surgery. That's 2 staples. There's a lot of staples here. All right, hold on. All right. Hey, Annika. These are found in the U.S. Dobson flies are found in the U.S. And as... Oh God, I'm scared. I'm getting a little scared. I don't even know why. I know who you are. Yeah, this is like Christmas morning at Krampus's house. For Krampus's kids. There's gotta be some way to do this easier. I'm sorry it's taking forever. Oh, by the way, The about the author for the book is like 3 years outdated. They never asked me to update it. So enjoy that on the dust jacket. God damn it. Okay. I'll do it this way, I guess. Oh, God. Sorry this is taking forever. I don't usually unstaple bugs I get. Oh, actually, I think I'm just one staple short. And I can do it. This is... I mean, seeing it through the wax paper is really disturbing. I'm not gonna lie. Oh. Oh, we did it. We did it. Okay, we did it. I'm really kind of freaking out. Okay. Oh, God. Oh, God. This is so gross. You ready? I'm gonna do it like this so you all can see. The antennae fell off. No, that's okay. Oh, my God. Oh, it's so horrible. Oh, God. Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. Okay. The antennae fell off. I don't care. Oh, fuck. Look. Look at this. Can you imagine this thing lighting on you? Oh my God. This is so bad. Those wings are so... Oh. I want to play that gif of Frank from Always Sunny. Just... Yep. Alright. Oh man, that's disturbing. That is disturbing. Both the fucking antennae fell off. That sucks. Alright, so you want to see the pants? The pants that are going back to on... I'm going to sell them. I had those matte pants. Greg chipped in to pay for them. I bought them. He gave me permission to return them. But here's what they look like. Here's what they look like from the back. They look awesome. It's just that the fit is so fucked that I can't wear them. I love these pants. I would fucking... Yeah, no, I can't get these fixed because they give me hips. They're cut like women's pants. They literally give you an hourglass figure. It's insane. You can even tell. Look. You can see how it curves up at the hip. Can you tell? See that? Now imagine that. Will you get a new publisher for your next book? If I do another book, it's either going to be mainstream publisher or do a Kickstarter again. Annika, if you want to buy these, you want to pay the $200 for them, I'll be glad to get them to you. Otherwise, they're going on... I'm going to sell them back ungrailed. These are, yeah, they're gorgeous, though. And very high quality. I had Cavariccis. I spilled ketchup on them the first day I wore them in the KFC on 14th and 2nd, which is still Manhattan. There's no... You can't take those in because it's the hips. It's like the letter P. Yeah, It's fucking sucks. You remind me of Russians in the 90s. Thank you. It's not about lowering the waist. Am I not speaking English? Oh, my jeans? Oh, yeah, for sure. These are $400. If someone can fix these and make them straight, I would be ecstatic. I'd wear them in a second. I do squats every week. You're telling me you had girl pants and that they made them into boy pants? Fuck you talking about? My quads are vascular. You don't know what you're talking about. They're not high waisted. You wear them low on your waist. My, you don't know my thighs. My thighs are on the money. I'll try them on for $50. I'll try them on so you guys can see what the fuck I'm talking about. If you want a fucking fashion show, it's not leg day, it's squat day. It's hip day. Every day is hip day. Okay, I didn't think so. I'll try them on $50. I'm not doing it otherwise. I'm not a dancing monkey. I'm a dancing paid monkey. They fit like women's pants, not like parachute pants. Like women's pants. They give me a feminine, indisputably feminine uh, silhouette. And you're talking to someone who wears purple suits on the regular. You should do an episode in New York bars. I did that already, Jack, on You're Welcome. If you go back and look at the archives on Compound Media, I did that episode. I wear purple suits on TV all the time. There's no shortage of them. Oh my god. All right, I'm putting on the pants. I'm putting on the pants. You have to give me 30 seconds. All right. Here they are. Let's see if you can see. Am I gonna have to stand on something? No, you can't see. How do I do this? Okay, I'll lower it. Hold on. How do I do this? Do I have to sit on my chair? Hold on. Does this work? Fuck. I don't know what to do. Okay, I can back up. Does this show? Is this enough? No. Shit. Let me get something to... I'm gonna get something to stand on. Well, I could stand on this. This chair has wheels. I can't use that chair. All right. Does that show him? You see? The shape's fucked, yeah. I'll show you the rear. If I got $50, I'll show you the rear. I don't fucking care. Here you go. Those are women's pants. Yeah. Of course. That's why they're going back. Take HRT. You would look cute as a trans woman. I got a good jawline. I wouldn't. I'm going to take these off and put my regular pants on. Excuse me. Excuse me. I gotta take this chair out. All right. I'm back. That someone is a big deal. Annika Skywalker. You should all follow her on Twitter. Did the sound go away? Okay. Hold it up. Hello, Greg. Can you put on your best jeans? I love all my jeans equally. You want a photo of me in my purple suit? I'll show you one right now. There's like, I wear all sorts of fruity colors. Just go to my Facebook and look at my profile pics. They're there. Check the mic. Oh. Annika, I did a live stream where I did showed my 30 pairs of pants. Let me show you what. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Okay. My favorite brand of jeans is Naked and Famous, which I've had on as guests on You're Welcome. Greg, by the way, paid for something today, and I'm going to show you what he paid for. 1 second. This is really, really funny and worth it. So, as you guys know, I went down this rabbit hole with wet shaving, where you use shaving soap and a brush, and it's a whole process. And I went to Pasteur, which is like the best wet shaving place in America, happens to be in Manhattan. And they had a clearance table. And I don't know why I went, because there's something else I really want, because I got pretty much the whole list, and I'm going through them now for everybody. And I went there, they had a clearance table, and they had a brand, which it's not a good brand, but they had a scent. Annika, come to New York, I'll give you a personal show. They had a scent that I never saw before. I went online, there's no references to what the scent is. So this is like a company that made like 50 of these, and who knows. So this was on my Instagram. Oy vey scented shaving soap. Yeah. So the smell, I don't know how to describe it. It smells cologne-y. But I'm like, it was $8. It was $16 half off. And I'm like, am I going to get a soap just for the label? And I'm like, you know what? This is why people super chat me stuff. So I can actually waste the money on stuff like this and make it fun for everyone. So yeah, this is the only one, like, how do I describe the smell? It smells like, you know how cologne smells like cologne? It's like, it's like a cheap cologne. I would expect it to smell like matzo or something. It doesn't smell good. It smells cheap. Ha 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 ha. That was not even a pun. Holy shit, that was really funny. There's so many things this could have smelled like pastrami or an oven. But no. Um, I actually, yeah, I did not date their male cousin. The idea that you're sitting here and fucking taking at face value these idiots in the live stream saddens me. It makes me sad. I actually use a multi-blade razor and I find it fine. Um, but I haven't started playing around with different razors. I'm doing one thing at a time. I assure you, those pants are from the LGBT fashion community. They're certainly T, because those are trans pants. They're male pants that make you look like a woman. Those are trans pants. What am I gonna do with all these bugs? They are though. They look so cool. I wish they didn't have such an insane fit. I love Levi's. I have a few Levi's. They're great. Greg, you know what I realized today about thank you very much, Greg, as always. You know what I realized today about my thesis, and Thad Russell has this thesis about um, will you wear Lululemons if I send you a pair? A pair of what? Um, one of the reasons I was wondering, why is it that culture is produced by marginalized people? And I think what it comes to, I just thought of this today and I'm working with this hypothesis. It might have to, and why is it that wasps, you know that voice I always do, you mean you eat raw fish like in the 80s and now it's like, oh, I'm a foodie, unagi versus anago. When you are forced to accept someone else's context, I'm not wearing yoga pants. Uh, Maybe I need yoga if I'm flipping out like that. No, I'm not wearing yoga pants. Um, if you are forced on a day-to-day basis to accept someone else's context, meaning it's their country, and you're kind of on some level an outsider, that is really useful when it comes to uh, talking to people. Why it's easier for me to talk to someone like who's black about race than like a white liberal, because when you are living in someone else's context, you have to be much better at improv. You're never in a position to be like, shut up. You have to be um, responding to them as opposed to creating your own thing for a lot of times. So that is something, because I'm thinking specifically of yeshiva for me when I was a kid. And I remember the first time I learned about the virgin birth. And it just blew my mind that this was like considered true by like 90% of people, given the concept of God that we were taught at school. I couldn't wrap my head around it. So when you're coming at it like, okay, the vast majority of people think this, and that's not your context, whether religious or cultural, whatever, um, it's you have to be ready to respond to somebody else. So you're not in a position to be like, no, what are you talking about? So yeah. That's something I'm kind of mulling in my head. Oh, but and the point being, now you're also in a position to be looking at something obliquely as opposed to being in the center of it, and you can critique it and analyze it. And you know, it's that I had an interview this week with a Dutch reporter. She's for the book, and it's the metaphor of, and this isn't original to me, two fish are swimming, and one of them goes, "Oh, the water's really warm today," and the other one goes, "What's water?" So when you are, it's your culture, it's your context, you're oblivious to it. Because you just take it as a given. What is it, Greg? Yes, Greg. What do you? I don't understand. Let me check. Oh. Yeah, what about it? I'm listening. I take Bitcoin if you just go to here. Or of course I'll take Bitcoin. I'm an anarchist. Are you kidding me? Here's the thing though about intersectionality. Let's suppose bras never come in your skin color, right? You are going to be much more consciously aware of how bras are produced and manufactured than someone who doesn't think in those terms. It's just inevitable because now bras are an issue for you. Okay. It adds to what you said, Michael. Get me on Skype. I don't know how to add people on this. Do you take shekels? Everything I take is shekels by definition. You'll just Greg, just tell me next time we do the chat thing. I don't think it's oppression, Andrew. I'm just saying, but it's this is I'm not. You're the one bringing up oppression, not me. Fran Lebowitz, one of my great heroes, not one of my great heroes, but who's amazing. You know, she had this thing where she was asked about gay rights versus civil rights. She goes, "I don't think these things are the same." She goes, "There's a difference between marginalization and oppression." And she's like, I know everything. I'm not saying it's nothing. I'm just saying it's not slavery. It's not the same." So cultural creativity is a solution to the problem of cultural exclusion. I don't know about that, but I mean, cultural exclusion leads to cultural creativity, is my thesis. I also think that marginalized people have to live with risk, and because of that, are more comfortable putting out risky ideas to the market. Well, it's also cost benefit. If you're at the bottom and your business fails, you got it's all up. It's all up. It's all upside. Whereas if you're in the middle, especially if you're culturally in the middle, and you don't want to ruffle feathers, so you're gonna lose your money and you're gonna lose your status. That's bad. I haven't seen the Kim.com tweet about AOC. It's really. Did you guys see? Oh my god! Let me show you also. Um, did you see these murder pants I saw this week? Hold on. Let me pull them up. You guys see these? Like, if you thought these pants were nuts, these are pants to murder people in, murder children in specifically. Um, it's by the same company, Capital, which is like amazing. Um, to murder children in. Click at the link. Aren't those pants to murder children in? Hold on, sorry. The thing with these pants is that they would stain easily too from the fabric. McDonald's, okay. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I'm glad these pants exist, but I don't know who can wear them and in what context. Maybe some crazy rapper. Let me check one more thing. God, this cough's been so annoying. All right. I know who Bitstein is. We're very good pals. I mentioned him in the book, I believe. I can even tell you right now. Hold on. No, I don't. I was wrong. I'm pretty sure I thank him, though. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to chat with? Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up. Jonathan Hyde, I haven't asked him. Let me see if the, 1 second. Oh, Jesus Christ, fucking. 1 second, people. Sorry. Oh, thank you guys for the Bitcoin Cash. Thank you for the Bitcoin Cash, Deus. Owen's not in the... let's talk about this with Owen. I have to give Owen a lot of credit, Owen Benjamin, because someone went on... what are the chapter titles for the new book? I'll get to that in a second, Sam, I promise. If you want my... here's my address for Bitcoin. Owen was doing a stream with Vox, and someone went on there and told him that I talk shit about him in the book. And to Owen's great credit, he texts me, he goes, I was told this, is this true? And I'm like, no. And I was very upset because this was intentional. Because he's mentioned once. And there's no way someone could have construed that to say I talk shit about him in the book. He's mentioned in passing as one of the people who has had a knife for freedom. Just as comedian Owen Benjamin. So, I get people like stirring shit up. But he's got a lot on his fucking plate. So, I thought that was really shitty. But whatever. I mean, I guess that's the point. To cause drama and make us feel shitty. It worked. And I'm very glad that he followed up with me directly. Yeah, Darren, still here. No, nothing. Greg, you didn't miss anything. Just someone. Tulsi Gabbard is thoughts on Kathy Young coming out as a neocon. She came out as a neocon? Uh, I didn't know that. I don't have much thoughts about. There's no way to. I'm not saying this in an insulting or offensive way. I don't have much thoughts about Kathy. I wish her well. If she's a neocon, that's unfortunate. Um, no, Owen just said someone told him on the live stream, so it wasn't like face to face. It was like some rando, you know. So that's unfortunate. Oh, so this week we also have on You're Welcome, we have Michael Wolf talking about strength training. Tulsi, yeah, I think she's great. I tweeted her to be on the show. It got 1,000 likes. She never replied. Chapter titles. Thank you, Sam, for reminding me. The chapters are Chapter 1. This is Your Welcome. Chapter 2. The Lurker at the Threshold. Chapter 3. The Strike. Chapter 4. Meme Magic is Real. Chapter 5. Airtight. Chapter 6. The Case Against Democracy. Chapter 7. Penthouse Legend. Chapter 8. The Vices of Gavin McIngus. Chapter 9. Get in the Chopper. Chapter 10. Secondhand Lives. Chapter 11. Ego. Chapter 12. The Divine Miss C. Chapter 13. The New White. 14. Charlottesville or Bust. And Chapter 15 is The Road Ahead. The idea in this day and age that Hitlerism. Let me get the exact quote from Jared Taylor. The idea of modeling a current political movement on Hitlerism seems just fantastic to me. That was the quote. Well, they look white to me. And I said, you mean fantastic in the negative sense, not wonderful, right? Yes, I appreciate the clarification. I still remember the look on his face. Because he's an erudite, like, educated person, right? Smart. And he just looked at me, he goes, have I ever seen a shark egg? You're talking to someone whose first job was writing for a marine aquarium, for an aquarium magazine. You kidding me? You mean A Mermaid's Purse? Um, you offend me, young lady. Uh, what was I saying? The look on his face when he was talking about like people who were like for like another Holocaust. He couldn't wrap his head around it. He's like, "Do you think they really mean this?" Like he was just like, "What?" Like advocating for mass genocide. The look on his Jared Taylor's face, he was just like, "What? Really?" It was hilarious. Um, what you would call it? Gavin tells that story about Jared and me better than I tell it, and that's when I knew Gavin's funnier than I am. He told my own story back to me, and I'm like, this is funnier than when I tell it. You aren't funnier than me, hands down, no question. The idea is simply fantastic. Seems just fantastic to me. Let me show you this. You ready for this, Annika? You all can click on this. Gavin needs to watch your exercise episode. Oof. He's funnier than me. I have no shame in admitting when someone's funnier than me. You can just oh god, you people. I gotta do everything for you. I gotta wear the pants. I gotta type in the HTTP. Don't forget the www. Here you go. There, click. I demand a horror wardrobe review. I haven't seen Gavin in a while, so. God, we're still doing this? It's been 2 hours. I'm getting bed sores. What else can I show you guys that's cool? What can I show you? Oh, I should do a please put on a pair of jeans that fits. Uh I got I'll read you my 30 pairs of jeans and you can tell me which ones you want. The Canada thing, the article I sent. Hold on. I don't. What article? What? Hold on. Greg, I don't know what article you're referring to. Oh, wait, hold on. I got an update of the video. Okay. I can't. The Persimmon? Which article? Hold on a second. Oh, yeah, that one. No, I haven't read the article yet. I'm going to try on the Persimmon pants. Oh, that is a question. What is my pant number 14? It's a good question. I like that, Dwight. If that is your real name, which it's not, but that's okay. The 14th pair would be the thermochromic. I'll put on the Persimmon ones. Do you really... Will you attend Soho Forum? I'm not attending, no. Um, so these are the first time I was on Joe. The first time I was on Joe Rogan. Uh, he gave me shit, and everyone else online gave me shit. For these Kaki Shibu pants, which are made from dyed in Japanese style, ancient Chinese secret, of unripened persimmon tannins. It's usually used for paper, but they use it for jeans, okay? So, and there was like, oh my god, you're wearing salmon pants, haha. I'm like, they're not salmon, they're not salmon. I'm like, oh my god, they're clearly salmon. Here they are. These are not salmon. Does he look salmon to you? I've started washing them because they weren't getting fades. Thank you. I'll put them on. Yeah, that's I was saying on the show. I'm like, they're different shades of like brown. They're like, ah. I can't believe I'm trying on pants for you people. What the fuck's going on with my life? All right, they're on. What do you want me to do now? What do I do with them? I'm wearing them. Now what? Here. I'm not gonna dance. Here. I'm gonna fall and crack my head. You could see him. All right. I am wearing Heshi socks. Yes, I am. I'm not doing high kicks on a chair with wheels on them. Here, Heshi socks. I don't lie when I promote them on my show. Yeah, these pants are awesome, and they're comfortable and great. That's the one question I forgot to ask Faith Goldie. I wanted to ask her if she's a thought. I wonder how long I can keep one of these live streams going for. That might be a fun thing to do one day. Oh my god, the audiobook. Oh my god, the audiobook. It was a fucking nightmare. I'm sitting here, I've been talking to you guys for 2 hours. Not a problem. The audiobook, I had to take a sip of water at one point after every sentence because the air in there was so dry and my nose closed up. It was a nightmare of nightmares. What I'm going to be doing with these streams, I did my Jared Taylor, I did Chris Cantwell, I did Jim Goad, I did Gavin, Ann Coulter I did, Rand I did, were the impressions I did. I don't think I did Milo. Sylvia Plath I did, but that's only, 4 sentences or 4 lines. Was anyone else I do? I think those are the big ones. Yeah. Okay. Oh, good times. I feel like this is such an opportunity to do something, and I don't know what. I don't know Vox Day's voice. I didn't do it. The impressions were good. The impressions were fun. You want to see my ass? You want to see my ass, Annika? Fine. You send me DM me a photo of your ass, and then I'll show you my ass. How's that? Fair is fair. That's right. Gauntlet Throne. Ms. O'Brien. Yeah, DM me on Twitter. I'm not going to show anyone. I won't show anyone. That's disrespectful. Go in front of a mirror. You make robots. You know how to take a picture of your ass? You're lying. I don't believe it. You're a brilliant woman. In Lululemons, whatever you're wearing, that's fine. It could be regular sweatpants. I don't care. How much to make both public and live stream? I would not do that to her. Absolutely not. It's going to be public on Twitter. Much bigger audience. Uh-huh. All right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Why don't you let me be the judge of that, huh? Will you wear Lululemons for $2,000? Sure, of course. Well, do you guys want to see some of the soaps I got? The shaving soaps? Is that of interest? Or do you want to wait until I do... Um... Oh, she did it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. She didn't. I emailed Michael Moynihan. He never replied. I will be apparently on Fifth Column. You don't have to apologize for not liking her. You're not supposed to like all my guests. Look at Annika trying to change the subject. We're here talking about ass. Oh yeah, let's talk about... Yeah. Back it up. Better back it up. See, you're all verified, so I see all your comments. Think you're better than us. What do I want to show you guys? What's here? What's this? Oh, I should hang that up. I forgot I have this. I have an animation cell with Batmite from the Batman cartoon. I have to get that framed. Yeah, I have to get that framed ASAP. Do you guys want to see Batmite with original production art from the show? I think it's from the 70s. One of my favorite characters. Here it is. I'm gonna get that framed for sure. Huh. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of stuff framed that have been sitting around, so it's been making the house look a lot better. I gotta figure out what color frame to get for that, though. Okay, I think we'll save the soap for another time. I do. You want to see the framed David Bowie album? So there was a great episode of The Simpsons when the B Sharps episode, and Barney's dating a Yoko Ono analog. And they go to Moe's, and Barney goes, "I'll have a beer." And she goes, "I would like a plum floating in men's perfume served inside a man's hat." And Moe just reaches down and goes, "Okay, here you go," and pulls up both of them. So you're like, "Oh, let me see a signed David Bowie." Okay, here you go. Autographed Heroes album. What's that? What'd you say you want to see? Alexander Hamilton's hair? Okay, here you go. Let me check something quick. All right. All right. Oh, hoarders. I'm actually have a whole process with my stuff. I'm decluttering. Well, except for all those soaps. That's recluttering, I guess. Okay. I yeah, this has been quite an episode. I hope you all had fun. I might see you next week. I might not. Tuesday we have Michael Wolf talking about how to get stronger. Then me. Then amazing guest, and then who's on the? And then you wanna I will tell you someone we have on who's going to be on the 28th, which is after I'm on Rogan. You ready? How many of you guys know Axe Cop? Because Ethan's going to be on the show, flying in from LA. And we're probably going to talk Chesterton at length, because he's a big Chestertonian. Well, Goggle It, if you haven't heard of him. I'm surprised Tom's not here. Where's that? Where's that guy? What, Greg? Well, we're gonna talk at some point. Yeah, absolutely. That's, sure. I like it when you all are friends with each other. That's really nice. I don't know that much about Chesterton. What I know, I loathe, with one exception. So I'll be very interested in hearing what he had to say. Well, that's just a dick thing to say. It's weird because a lot of times people think insulting is being inherently funny. So. Oh, the Breitbart episode. Just go to uh, SoundCloud and look for it. It's 3 hours with me. Um, that's right. Shave a bug. The Dutch lady I was interviewed for a Dutch newspaper. She's not on the show. She interviewed me about the book. I have a lot of bugs. I went on a bug rabbit hole and I was very disappointed because I got all the bugs I thought were cool as a kid, and then in person they suck. The interview's not up, no. Okay, now I really am bouncing. I will see you all soon. I don't have any. Where can I find a clip of you in Cash Cab? On a search engine. Thank you guys. Hope that, yeah, there's 400 of you listening to this nonsense. Um, that's pretty funny, the Bugs Bunny line. I will see you all soon. Thank you for the support. Like, in all seriousness, the fact that I can go and do all these shows and promote the book is because I have the support of loyal viewers like you, and disloyal ones too. I love you. I love you more. Hope this was fun. This is going to be up for the Patreon people, uh, and I will talk to you soon. I promise I'm gonna. Oh. Hey, thank you, Christopher. Oh, by the way, let me tell you all something. I promise that when I am on Rubin, you're all going to piss your pants. I promise. One of the reasons I like the show Drag Race so much is because they know how to put on a show. And I sit there and I take notes and I'm like, all right, when you have an opportunity, you put on a fucking show. So, Ruben, I'm putting on a show. And Dave is a great guy and a great sport. Legion of Skanks soon. I don't. Probably. I'm sure. I mean, that's a gimme. It's easy for me to go on that show. Um, I'm not. No. It's gonna be very friendly. He's gonna have a fun time, but you guys are going to piss your fucking pants. You have no idea what's happening. It's gonna be so. I'm so excited. Okay, guys. Yeah. I will see you all soon.